I know I'm live. I don't really. Um, all right, I'm gonna just do it like this. I think that we will spend so much time trying to make everything so perfect instead of just doing it and putting it out there and just going with the flow. So I'm not gonna think about how I look in here or whatever. I'm just talking. So the title of this is how metaphysics changed everything, how I look at everything in my life. Long story short, I'm 38 years old, completely upended my entire life. When I tell you my entire life, my career, my relationships, everything. I blew everything up, a total tower moment and experience that I'm still, in the midst of, still, figuring out, what it is that I'm doing moving forward. Well, not really, but really, right? I'm very clear about the fact that I really just want to write and teach about metaphysics. Um, Metaphysics is the basis for everything in our world, in our universe. It's not even just our world, our planet. It's the universe. Is as above, so below. I've been very interested in this topic since I was a little kid. Since I was about 5 years old, I knew that I was a Libra, which is crazy. I was just saying this to my mother. I was like, I used to get the paper every day and I would go right to the horoscopes, me knowing that my birthday was in September or is in September, September 28th. I always looked for my birthday and was very interested in what these horoscopes had to say. But beyond that, I became very interested and very curious about how our world worked and about stars and moons and just what made people be the way they are, understanding family, understanding communities, understanding countries, culture. I've always been curious about that. And it's always been more of like a mystery to me. And I have always been a lover of mysteries. And I mean from young age, I'm a bookworm. So I used to get all kind of books about mysteries, anything that was, you know, about Halloween and just things like that. And I get that from my grandmother. My grandmother, Halloween is like her favorite holiday. So I've always been interested in this mystical, magical sort of world, beyond what we could see. And as I went about my life, went to college, started in my career, I landed in the nonprofit industry. And that's all about mystery, right? Because how do we solve the problems that people are facing, through social service or whatever? And I increasingly was becoming annoyed and irritated with not seeing any like real tangible change. And I wanted to intervene and I wanted to find out what was really going on. And so this is a part of me blowing up my entire world, right? Burning all the bridges that I had, right? But as crazy as that chapter of my life has been, on the flip side of it is I've never felt more like myself. I've never felt more in tuned with myself than I do now. I feel very in alignment, even when I'm not exactly sure, what's coming up. I'm more willing to trust, more willing to surrender, more willing to let go. And, because of that, I'm in such peace. I couldn't imagine going back into that world, certainly not as it is. Um, I have just evolved, though I understand the level of services that need to be rendered in the nonprofit industry. I just think that we could be doing more. And when I say more, I just mean that we could be going deeper. I have accepted that I am a very deep person, that I don't really belong on the surface. I can't really gel with the surface stuff. I am such a I'm such a deep person. Everything that I talk about, think about, is it just ends up being deep, and I can't help that. So I have accepted myself as a deep person. I've also accepted myself as a healer, as a teacher, as a writer. But I believe first that I'm a healer. I feel like that's what I came to do. I came to go and be curious and, explore the mysteries and figure out how our universe works to the best of my ability. And I've chosen to do that through healing arts. I asked myself earlier, I was like, why didn't I go into the sciences? Which I kind of almost did because I wanted to be a midwife, and I originally started off at school as a nurse midwife. I mean, not a nurse midwife, but in nursing school. And there was so much science, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really interested in this. I want to work with babies, but I don't want to do it in a hospital. If I did birth, I want to do home births. But I was recently looking into like physics and stuff, and I was like, why did I really get into physics? But I did. But metaphysics, metaphysics is the art, right? Whereas physics really is what you can see and show and prove, right? And art is just ethereal. And that is the world that I love and I love to live in and I love to talk about and I love to bring people into if that's something that they're interested in. So I ultimately have decided that I want to build a school. That could be online school. I prefer in person, but I can start with what I have and what I'm able to have. And this is a school for seekers and healers. So this is a school for, those people who are interested in learning to read tarot, who are learning to learning human design, who are learning to, just do all of these, get to know themselves basically, right? That's the push. Like the push is know thyself, really. And that's what I hope to do is raise people's consciousness, advance people's consciousness, and support people in their growth and their journey of getting to know themselves, because what better way to live than to know who you are fully, even you might not know totally in totality, but for the most part, it's better than not knowing yourself at all. So I have started to post some more things on YouTube, just challenging myself to be consistent. And it's crazy because if you knew what was happening in my world right now, it'd be like, what I'm feeling that way too. Like, how the hell am I being, consistent when I got all of this stuff that's happening in the background? But I'm choosing not to worry about anything. I'm choosing not to, um, have that energy. I have my moments because I'm human, but most of the time I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to be obedient and just follow my heart. And that's difficult for us to do because we haven't been conditioned to do that. So I wanted to hop on real quick and make a quick video about just some of the content that you might see coming up from me on this channel. Uh, and that is content around, like I just did today, I just recorded a piece talking about losing weight by letting go. And, that's about how letting our emotions go and letting all of these heavy emotions go is what will lead us to sustainable weight loss, because dieting only works for as long as you are on that diet. Then people tell you, oh, it's a lifestyle change. And it is a lifestyle change, but it's more of a mindset change. It's a mindset thing. Losing weight is a mindset thing. You can lose weight without going to the gym. You can lose weight and still eat the foods that you love to eat, because it's not about necessarily the food. It's not about the exercise and how much you can work out. It is about the story that you are telling yourself. It is about the emotions that you are holding on to, and it's the emotions that you are hiding and that you are covering up with. And once you remove those emotions and those blockages and let that go. Let that go. Regulate your nervous system. Um, Finding your center, getting back to self. Then that is how you really are able to lose weight and keep weight off. And this is tried and true for me several times. I am I ain't gonna say just, but I have lost 30 pounds. Maybe over the last year or two, I had got up to the most I've ever weighed before, which is 183 pounds. For me, that is overweight. I've never been that big before. Even in the ninth month of my pregnancy, I think I got up to 170 pounds when I was pregnant. This is 9 months pregnant because I've always been around 130 pounds, 140 pounds. And I was gaining a lot of weight because I had so much emotional baggage on me. I was somewhere I didn't want to be in terms of my career. I was in a relationship that I didn't want to be in. I've had all of these just obligations that I felt that was on me. And once I started to surrender and let things go and just say, hey, it's just up to God, it's up to universe. I'm gonna take the inspired action when it comes to me. And once I did that, then the weight just started to effortlessly fall off. Now, that's not to say that I didn't change some things about my eating habits or exercise. I did, but it was because I had the clarity in order to do that, right? So in order for you to make those physical changes in terms of your diet or change terms of your exercise routine, you have to be able to have clarity so that you can feel what feels right for you, right? Like for me, going to the gym and working out all hard and doing extra cardio and stuff, that's not for me, right? There's a lot of people I know who do that and that's for them, but that's not for me. I go walking every single day. That's for me. I love going to walk. I go and get in my steps. Let me see if I got my steps in yet today. If I haven't, then I will be going back up to and I haven't. So I had to cut my walk short this morning, but I'm definitely going out to walk this evening. In fact, I gotta cut the grass, so that's probably what I do. But anyway, yeah, I started walking. I started cooking all of my food at home. And it just was because I was just listening to my body, right? It was like my body was saying, hey, we want to get out and we want to move around and we want to walk around. So go walk. So just listening to my body just created this routine for me to where I'm like, okay, I am out here walking every single day, non-negotiable, rain, cold, whatever. I'm out there. I look forward to these walks every day now. Uh, as far as the food goes, I look forward to, cooking a meal. Like I went to the store today and if I end up cooking, I'm gonna make some steak and potatoes, right? Just is I'm still eating what I want to eat. I like to eat steak and I like to eat potatoes, but how I eat it, how often I eat it or whatever, I really just listen to my body. If my body is saying like, "Hey, we want some steak today," then I'm going to buy me a steak, right? If I want some fish, I'm going to get some fish. So again, it is about the clarity, quieting the chatter down in your mind so that you can hear and be obedient to what you are being led to do. All of these things will help you to lose the weight and keep the weight off. I did also talked about in my video how most of the weight that we are carrying, most of the unwanted weight that we are carrying it doesn't even come from us. It comes from generations. It comes from our ancestors. It comes from the 7 generations before us, right? So imagine your grandmother, who had anxiety or had depression, and she was carrying that. She can pass that down. That's passed down to your mother, which is passed down to you. And it could also come from some generations before. And so when that happens, which a lot of us, that's a spiritual weight. We carrying that spiritual emotional weight. We don't even know that it is on us, but it's on us. And we have to go through a process of breaking cycles. And I feel very strongly about using metaphysics to break cycles, generational cycles, using metaphysics to break generational cycles. Um, Let me work that down. So I feel like that might be a using metaphysics to break generational cycles. UMTBGC. Yeah, so using that to break generational cycles, that's the type of work that lights me up, and I feel the most fulfilled when I'm in that space, when I'm writing about those things, when I'm talking about those things, when I'm helping people, on their journeys. And so this school that I am proposing and just dedicated to creating, again, it's a place for healers. It's like it's the thing that I wish that I had, to myself when I was kind of figuring out myself and my journey. So this is the thing that I wish that was had then, for me as I navigated it. I had to find out about tarot on my own. I had to find, how methods and what we do, but imagine doing that and then really having kind of this like community. Um, so yeah, I am for the seekers and the healers. I am here to uplift humanity and to advance the consciousness of humanity and, you know, give my small part in that. So that's it. I'm gonna end the live there. Thank y'all for joining.